we're going, we don't need roads.
This is your host Joey Cruel, and you are listening to Relentless Flashbackin. In every episode, I will travel back to a certain era of the past and I'll talk about its historical events, stuff, toys, cars, TV, movies, and music. You'll find Relentless Flashbackin on Mixcloud, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. With this episode, I'll travel back to 1989 and I'll talk about stuff, toys, and cars. The 80s are clearly, without any doubt, the best decade ever if we talk about modern Western civilization. Of course, they aren't perfect. There are also dark sides, but the 1989 proves that the 80s are excellent, bodacious, and outrageous. This section is about the 1989 stuff. The first internet service providers arrive, and there is the first document with the proposal of what will be the World Wide Web. Furthermore, the first of 24 GPS satellites arrives in orbit. In the world of video games, there are a lot of new products. Sega releases the console Mega Drive, known in USA as Genesis. Nintendo releases the popular Game Boy, one of the first handheld game console with cartridges. And then Nintendo collaborates with Mattel for the launch of the Power Glove for the Christmas of '89. The Power Glove is a pioneering device that allows the player to use his hand as a controller. Aesthetically, the Power Glove is shocking, and it will leave a mark in the popular culture. For example, you will spot it in the movie Kung Fury or in the movie Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, the sixth chapter of a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. The idea is great, and its creator had been studying it for many years, but he needs more time to make something that is both cheap and portable. As usual, Mattel makes the wrong move, and it begins to push and shove because it wants to sell the Power Glove within Christmas. So, unfortunately, the Power Glove technically is a failure. It doesn't work well, and it's all caused by Mattel greed and blindness. Atari releases the Lynx, a handheld game console that's more advanced than the Nintendo Game Boy. For example, it got a color screen, but it's too expensive, it isn't so widespread, and it got a poor battery life. In 1989, Fuji releases the first consumer-friendly pocket digital camera, and Disney add a new theme park to the Walt Disney World in Florida, Hollywood Studios, inspired by Movie World. The first Hot Topic store is opened in California. This is an American retail chain specializing in alternative clothing and accessories, as well as licensed music merchandise. The majority of the stores are located in regional shopping malls, but there are few exceptions. Think about the one near the Universal Studios in Hollywood. But if you will go in a Hot Topic in 2019, you'll be saddened to be surrounded by so much modern crap. Pepsi, after Michael Jackson, chooses Madonna to be the next star that will appear in his commercials. And the announcement arrives in a big way. They prepare a commercial for the 2 minutes commercial that will be broadcast on the 2nd of March. Despite having Madonna in it, the commercial is really sweet and delicate, with a very familiar tones. Nothing too scary, offensive or scandalous. The problem is that the song used in the commercial, Like a Prayer, has a promotional video that will enrage Christians and bigots from all over the world. They are beginning to associate Madonna with Pepsi, so Pepsi is forced to never broadcast the expensive spot again. You know how much the 80s can be identified with the word excess. Nitro are the excess made flesh. Take an acrobatic guitarist called Michelangelo, who plays at inhuman speed a four-necked guitar, shaped like an axe. Add Jim Gillette, a singer that loves to reach very high notes. Then mix this little combination with Bobby Rock, a very brutal drummer, and TJ Racer, a brazen bassist, and you'll have a perfect recipe to make you explode. Don't listen to those who tell you that Nitro are a glam metal band only for the look. Listen to their albums. This is US heavy metal with shredding go-go-go. The video and the single Freight Train that overwhelms everything is an overdose of outrageous 80s excess, and I advise you to try it. Meanwhile, here is a taste of Nitro with nasty reputation. The 1989 is still a magical year for toys, with most of the well-loved toy lines that continues without leaving us alone. This is the year of the reboot of the Masters of the Universe toy line. 1988 had been a year full of dust, and 1989 gave us a completely distorted series. There are only Skeletor and He-Man, with a brand new line of characters, and the mood is changed to sci-fi, since now it's all about space and spaceships. The design is really too bland and generic, and there is nothing exciting. Luckily, this year arrives the first series of Monster in My Pocket, which, well before Pokémon, is a collection of Pokémon monsters. These monsters are inspired by all cultures, ranging from the Russian Baba Yaga through the British spring-heeled Jack, combined with the classic monsters like the vampire or the werewolf. All the 48 monsters have a place in a huge volcano-shaped display. It's a real phenomenon that was followed by a board game, a video game, a cartoon, and even comics. The first series will be followed by a second and a third series, but since they will be poorly distributed, they will be extremely rare. Then there will be more series, but they will be more and more bizarre. The first series is the only one that matters. In 1989, thanks to the collaboration with Games Workshop, MB releases one of the best board games ever, Hero Quest. The game consists of a board with rooms that are gradually filled with monsters, doors and chests every time one of the players comes around. The cool thing is that in addition to the already existing maps, the game will be followed by 6 expansions that will contribute to the longevity of the game, which already allows the player to create their own maps. After all, Hero Quest is heavily inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. Lilian Axe are a band from Louisiana and are often classified as hard rock. Yet I really struggle to classify them only as hard rock, as they often cross over into heavy metal and US power metal territories. Love Plus War comes out in 1989, and the casual listener can be attracted by the single Show a Little Love, a classic and great 80s hard rock song, but the album offers more and more, thanks to the terrific Ron Taylor voice combined with the frightening compositional power of the guitarist Steve Blaze and the skill of the rest of the band. Just think about the epic Ghost of Winter, a song that goes beyond 6 minutes, hypnotizing us with its genius. But for tonight, here is Lilian Axe with Down on You. In this section I will talk about the 1989 automotive world. This year is at the 32nd place for the crude oil price, ranking over 72 years, a ranking from the most expensive to the cheapest year. The price in 1989 is $18 or $36 in 2017 money. To let you understand, in 2017 the price will be $42. The Mercury, after 5 years, is shut down because of the poor sales. The Mercury model line consisted in just 2 rebranded cars, the Ford Sierra and the Ford Scorpio. Both of them were produced in Germany, so it's not a surprise that this brand failed. I ain't talking about the Ford Sierra Cosworth. The Mercury one is just a mildly sport Sierra. These 2 cars are a perfect example of poor construction quality. In 1989, 5 automotive jewels arrived from USA, Germany and Italy. In USA, Pontiac strikes a deal with ASC and McLaren. ASC has done everything to a car roof that can be done to a car roof, from glass to vinyl, and McLaren is a tuner from Michigan. The Pontiac Grand Prix Turbo Coupe ASC McLaren, with an impressive output of 205 horsepower, is what we got from this exciting deal, a stunning sleeper. This version of Grand Prix is rare. Only 700 will be produced until 1990, because it it's expensive. You have to add $5,000 to the normal price of a Grand Prix, so the total price is more than $20,000, more than $40,000 in 2017 money, but it came with some delicious and brand new features, such as the navigator and head-up display. From Germany comes the Porsche 964, the second generation of 911. There are a lot of changes inside and a few changes on the look, but there is still the same dominant and impressive charisma. The all-wheel drive with the Carrera 4 setup increases the power of the 964, which pushes the car up to 163 miles per hour, from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. In the following years there will be more versions of the 964, until the 1993, and then in 1994 the Porsche 993 will be its worthy successor. The Mercedes, after 18 years, replaces the R107 with the R129. This car is certainly much more compact than the R107, but immediately everybody will dream and respect this car. This beautiful and elegant roadster will be so popular that it will last until 2002. Let's go to Italy with the Ferrari 348, the heir of the 328, with a classic Ferrari design that's so totally reminiscent of the Testarossa. This little sister is an affordable Ferrari, but still can offer you a lot of fun, and will be produced until 1995. On the other side, Alfa Romeo frees a beast with a completely innovative design. The SZ is a project born thanks to a connection between Fiat and Zagato, and it's nicknamed Il Mostro, the monster, and not without a reason. It's 210 horsepower, don't forgive the casual driver. An Alfa Romeo with all these performances and the rational but luxurious interiors has a price of more than $60,000. That's more than $125 in 2017 money. This price will make the Alfa Romeo SZ a car for few elected people. In fact, just over 300 units will be produced until 1994. In the late 80s there is a new school of hard rock that looks back to the 70s hard rock with influences that go from blues to country. This kind of hard rock is still a son of the 80s, but it's more rough and it's more attached to the roots of this genre. The bands that play it are the minority, but it's a substantial group, and every band is different from each other because they dose their influences in a particular way. Sadly, in 1991 the dreams of all the bands will be shattered, and only the Black Crows will survive. The fate will be so bad in so little time that this genre will not have even the time to have a name, so I call it rootsy hard rock. Little Caesar is one of the greatest bands that plays rootsy hard rock, and they are bikers and all heavy tattooed. So there are even people that think that they are a part of a motorcycle gang, because in 1989 the tattoos aren't a fad for soccer moms and bored teenagers. In 1989 they released their first EP, Name Your Poison, that contains 4 exclusive tracks. The power of the songs will lead the band to sign a contract with Geffen, and if you listen to the EP you can understand the enormous potential of Little Caesar. With this album, the second episode on 1989 ends. The next episode will be about the 1999. Please subscribe to the channel and follow the show on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. If you want to give your support, please visit Teespring and Patreon. Relentless Flashbackin is easy to find because the name is unique all over the web. And now here is Little Caesar with Tastes Good to Me. Stay outrageous, stay larger than life, Romeo, Foxtrot, Bravo!